Hello, friends. Sorry I've been gone for like over a week now. I've been producing music, writing, just some fun personal projects, so taking a little break from this. But I'm back because I have just some rambly thoughts today. Also, sorry, I'm kind of tired. Um, so it's kind of a low energy video. Anyways, what I wanted to talk about today is this something I've sort of noticed throughout my entire life, but it's a feeling I fight against myself. So I don't want to make this seem like I'm getting on some high horse, like, you know, I'm better than other people, because that's not the case. Uh, but it's this feeling of, and it's unconscious, you don't think about it, but I think that everyone kind of wants to be miserable, to be unhappy, to be unsatisfied. Uh, and what I mean by that is it seems like whenever you tell people that their happiness is something that is in their own hands, something that they have the ability to choose for themselves, they most people never seem to see this as a liberating thing, but as something scary, something to be feared, something to reject entirely, because it's much more convenient for everything that happens to you, everything that you feel unhappy about, to just be a product of fate. It's easy to go about life just blaming the world, just blaming other things for your own unhappiness. Ressentiment, as Nietzsche would say. It's easy to do this, and that's why we do it. That's the simple nature of this, right? We all fall into this trap every day of our lives. And I'm not the first person to talk about this. I mean, philosophers have been talking about this forever. The thing is, though, is that I'm the first to admit that the world does have a great effect on us. It is these systems that we live under that are pushing us in this direction of just not taking life into your own hands, always taking the easy option. And that's because we live in a world that constantly wants us to be stressed and anxious and pulled in every which way and not free, not individuals, right? True individuals. We are immersed within that world every day of our lives. And so it is incredibly difficult to step inside of yourself and to see that freedom that you do have as a human being. So I'm the first to admit that. And so when I say that people need to take life into their own hands, that doesn't just mean, hey, everyone wake up. It means we actually do have to be fighting against these systems that reinforce the negative behavior. That's very important to understand about this, right? Because you can criticize people's behavior that you want, but there's a reason that people act the way they do. It's because they have incentive to do so. In any case, there's a quote from perhaps my favorite show, Community. Season 6, the wedding episode. Something that Chang says. I can play the clip.
It's you against the world, and you will not win. But you get to make your moves, not them.
I really like what he says here. The thing about life is that you can't win. You can't. If you keep trying to wait for things to go well for you, or if you're only happy when things are going well for you, then you will suffer all the time, right? But that's not what life is about. Life is about the choices that you make. Life is about the person that you are through the hard times. And what I find that people have lost is that they don't do things for themselves. Everything is motivated by something external. All the things that they do because they are expected to do them by other people, right? By the world, by society, by their friends, by their family, right? But people need to start doing things for themselves more. Do what makes you happy. Make your choices. If you just do what everyone else wants you to do throughout your life, again, you will be miserable. You will never be happy, right? What do you want? What do you actually want? Ask yourself that. The next time you're doing something, ask yourself, am I doing this because I actually want to do this? Because I actually care about doing this? Because this is actually fulfilling to me? Because I think you will find that half of the things you're doing in your life are, the answer to those questions is no. And that's a problem. And that doesn't mean you're not going to have to do things that are hard, that you don't want to do at that immediate moment. That is going to happen in life. But why are you going to this party? Is it because you actually want to? Is it because this actually makes you happy? Or is it just because that's what's expected of you in a social situation? That's what other people are doing. You want to fit in, that sort of thing. Right? Sometimes it's hard for you to understand that you might not actually want that on a real level because you've just convinced yourself that you want that. I see that a lot in people. Like, it's very clear that they don't actually want to be doing something, but they've sort of just convinced themselves that it is something that they want. They don't actually have good reasonings for why they're doing the thing that they're doing. It doesn't actually seem to be bringing them fulfillment. But they've just justified it because, again, it's easier to do that. You don't have to deal with that internal conflict, right? But conflict is good. Internal conflict is good. It's good to grapple with that sort of thing. It's good to be uneasy, disordered. Something Emerson said. I'm going to get Emerson so I can read a quote for you. Here we go. Emerson says, "People wish to be settled. Only as far as they are unsettled is there any hope for them." So, I'll leave you with that. Make your choices, Make your choices. Make them right. Do what you want to do. That's my message. Go out there. I'll see you in the next video.